The Historical Society was founded in 1939. It's the oldest historical society in Beaufort County, and we're trying to preserve the history here in Beaufort County.
The first play that I believe I saw might have been right here on the stage when it was Beaufort Elementary. I was in Scouts here, I was in Girl Scouts, and we would do our performances here on this theater.
History's all around you, number one. Number two is, people don't know this, but we're the second oldest city in South Carolina, but we also really have 500 years of history here, going back to the 1500s when the French and the Spanish settled here, particularly on Paris Island. So we have a wealth of history going through the colonial period, up through the Civil War, down through Reconstruction, and to present day.
It is a pleasure to learn about why we are here. How did we get here? What was going on in the lives of the people in the 1760s and the 1770s that caused them to rise up and start a war against the people that were governing them? I think that it's not just joyful, it's very enlightening.
If you ask me, not all the power should be in the hands of one man and one man alone. Have you heard of the French lawyer Baron de Montesquieu? He proposes in his book a most practical idea, the separation of powers, trias politica. Three separate branches of government should keep each other in check to avoid abuse of power and corruption.
Well, we're doing this magnificent show for USCB on the campus here in Beaufort. I'm going to be delivering a lecture on the life and work of Alexander Hamilton. My wife will be performing a one-woman show on Rachael Faucette, Alexander Hamilton's mother, not just the woman who gave him life, but the woman who gifted him with his incredible genius.
This character matters because usually women, even if they're brilliant and talented, they don't get credited. This is, for me, is also an homage to mothers because they do so much for their children. It's the devotion of mothers to their children that is really a big part of this. The everyday women who don't get the credit for everything they do.
Clearly, he was way ahead of his time because his systems are still intact today. The Treasury is the secret to the federal government. It's all checks and balances. All the government runs through the Treasury. It's how we can account for every nickel and dime the government spends, shortly after they spend it.
Adieu, Nicholas. No, I will not be going to that feast tonight. The king will live long without my blessing. Alexander, you leave me astounded. You arranged for your father to work on a ship after he sued a captain. You chased the devil away with an axe. You orchestrated the way to pay the taxes, and now you want to work for Beaton and Cooper as a clerk? Give me a chance to catch my breath.
Hamilton in his life would only receive 3 years of education, where Ben Franklin would only get 1. But these two guys have that in common. Both of them are self-made. They instill in the American culture the ability to rise above your social status through your own gumption, through your own will. And sheer force of will drove Hamilton onto the world stage. And he was almost written out of our history. So many of the founding fathers were opposed to Hamilton, not just his views, him personally.
Come out to the events and learn. Education is the secret to success, in my opinion. Poverty, hunger, everything is going to be overcome, and good government is going to work by education.
I saw Jimmy and Eva about 4 or 5 years ago. I saw them in Savannah, and I thought, oh my gosh, we had to bring them to Beaufort.
We were invited by Mary Lou Bruton to do three performances here in South Carolina. And we did one in Bluffton, one in Hilton Head, and now we are in Beaufort, which is very special to us because we've been in Beaufort 5 years ago. It was beautiful. We came by boat, really liked the town, and now we're back in the house that we admired.
I think that the theater and the arts here in Beaufort have always been the heart of our community. I remember, years ago when we had a little theater here in Beaufort, and we would have just grand performances. And if they weren't grand, we felt like we were on Broadway. So we didn't know a difference. But I think if arts are like history, and if we don't keep up with them, then we're just leaving our hearts behind.
Method acting can help you create, imaginary people that you speak to if you can't take it off another actor.
This is my store. Everything is in my name. By my stars, if you don't believe me, why don't you go to the tax register and you will find out for yourself that everything here is in the name Faucette. Faucette. Rachael Faucette. Yes, a woman can own a store and she can organize it better than a man because she doesn't waste her time and money on cockfights and rum. Ugh, spitting in my store, disgraceful. Flibustier. Ajax! Clean that up.
It takes 10,000 hours at least. Do any kind of job you can do because you learn from every experience. If you get an opportunity, just grab it with both hands and keep going. If you like, you can come to one of my online acting classes. I developed my own methods based upon the archetypes. So we can work on the lover, the orphan, the ruler, etc., the vampire. It's every Tuesday. You just go to avantgardeactingstudio.com and you can sign up for a free session.
We are the only non-profit that doesn't have an office, doesn't have an employee. We're an all-volunteer organization. We were the first organization in Beaufort. We were founded in 1939. I was not part of the original board. My granddaughter thought I might have been. It's important that we're all here and a part of this.
Somewhere in this country, we need to have a resurgence of the founding fathers' reasons for starting this country, and it needs to be rejuvenated.
We'd love to have you. It's an all-volunteer organization, and we appreciate having people who have an interest in history and want to come and join a group that has similar interests. We put up markers at historical sites. We also have lectures and other programs relating to the history in the Beaufort District, and we work very closely with other partners, the Beaufort District Collection, the library, and the Beaufort History Museum and others to bring these programs to the public.
Thank you very much for having us in Beaufort. I hope you get to do in your life what you really inspire to do. Be brave, be courageous, go for what you want, and we love you.